Top 10 Most Expensive Cars in the World 2026. Imagine walking into a garage and seeing a car worth more than a luxury mansion, a private jet, or even an entire fleet of supercars. Now imagine that the owner doesn't even use it every day. In fact, some of these cars are so rare that millions of people will never see one in person. Welcome to the world of ultra-exclusive automobiles, where a car is no longer just a machine for getting from one place to another. It becomes a piece of art, a collector's dream, a technological experiment, and sometimes a rolling symbol of unimaginable wealth. In today's video, we're counting down the top 10 most expensive cars in the world in 2026, from multi-million-dollar hypercars to hand-built masterpieces that exist in only a handful of examples. And trust me, number 1 is going to make the price of an ordinary luxury car look almost unbelievable. Before we begin, remember that prices for ultra-exclusive cars can vary because many are one-off or privately commissioned vehicles. So the figures we're using are publicly reported estimates, rather than normal showroom prices. Recent 2026 rankings put the Rolls-Royce La Rose Noire Droptail around $30 million, the Boattail around $28 million, and the Bugatti La Voiture Noire at roughly $18.7 million. So let's start the countdown. Number 10, Lamborghini Veneno Roadster, around $3.3 million. At number 10, we have a Lamborghini that looks less like a normal road car, and more like something that escaped from a futuristic racing game. The Lamborghini Veneno Roadster was created to celebrate Lamborghini's 50th anniversary, and even years after its introduction, its design remains one of the most aggressive ever placed on a road-legal production car. With a reported price of around $3.3 million, the Veneno Roadster already puts us in territory where an ordinary person could buy several houses instead of one car. But the price isn't really about transportation. It's about rarity, design, engineering, and the Lamborghini name. The Veneno Roadster features an extremely low body, enormous aerodynamic surfaces, sharp angles, and a rear design that looks almost like a race prototype. Underneath the dramatic bodywork is a naturally aspirated V12 engine, producing around 750 horsepower. The sound alone is part of the experience. There is something special about a large naturally aspirated V12 that modern turbocharged engines simply cannot completely replicate. And then there is the exclusivity. Lamborghini produced only a tiny number of Veneno Roadsters, which makes finding one available for purchase incredibly difficult. This is exactly what makes ultra-expensive cars different from ordinary luxury vehicles. You cannot simply walk into a dealership, hand over a credit card and drive away with one. Availability, ownership history, collector interest, and rarity can all affect what the car is actually worth. The Veneno Roadster is therefore not just a supercar. It is a statement that says the owner wanted something that almost nobody else on earth could have. Number 9, Bugatti Chiron Supersport 300 Plus, around $3.9 million. Moving up the list, we arrive at one of the cars that helped redefine what a modern hypercar could be. The Bugatti Chiron Supersport 300 Plus carries a name associated with one of the most famous speed milestones in modern automotive history. The car is based on Bugatti's legendary Chiron platform, but the Supersport 300 Plus takes the philosophy of high-speed performance to another level. Its reported price sits around $3.9 million, depending on specification and market. What makes this machine so fascinating is that Bugatti didn't simply build a powerful engine and put it into a normal body. The entire car was engineered around speed, stability, aerodynamics, and performance. The heart of the machine is Bugatti's enormous 8.0-liter quad turbocharged W16 engine, a powerplant that has become one of the most recognizable engines in the hypercar world. The numbers are almost difficult to comprehend. Massive power, enormous torque, advanced all-wheel drive, and a body designed to remain stable at extreme speeds all come together in one machine. But the Chiron Supersport 300 Plus isn't simply about a top speed number. It represents the end of an era when manufacturers were willing to invest enormous resources into mechanical engineering and combustion technology. And that's part of what makes it special in 2026. The automotive industry is rapidly changing, with electrification and hybridization becoming increasingly important. Yet cars like the Chiron Supersport 300 Plus remind us just how far engineers pushed the traditional internal combustion engine. It is not merely fast. It is an engineering statement. Number 8. Koenigsegg CCXR Trevita. Around $4.8 million. Number 7. Bugatti Centodieci. Around $9 million. Now we're entering truly unbelievable territory. At number 7 is the Bugatti Centodieci, a hypercar built as a tribute to Bugatti's historic EB110. The name Centodieci means 110 in Italian, connecting the car to Bugatti's heritage. But instead of simply reproducing an old design, Bugatti created something dramatically modern. The Centodieci has a distinctive front grille, extremely thin headlights, aggressive aerodynamic surfaces, and a body that looks unlike almost anything else in Bugatti's lineup. The price is reported at around $9 million, and that price reflects more than raw performance. The Centodieci was produced in extremely limited numbers, which instantly transformed it into a collector's object. Imagine being one of only a handful of people on the planet who can say, "I own one." That level of exclusivity is one of the biggest factors behind the prices of cars at this level. Performance is important, but rarity can be even more powerful. The Centodieci uses Bugatti's famous W16 powertrain, delivering enormous performance while maintaining the sophisticated character expected from the brand. But perhaps the most interesting thing about this car is its design philosophy. Bugatti managed to create something that feels connected to the past without simply copying it. It is a modern interpretation of a historical legend, and for collectors that kind of connection can be extremely valuable. The Centodieci isn't just a fast car. It is a limited chapter in Bugatti history, and when only a tiny number of chapters exist, the value can rise very quickly. Number 6. Rolls-Royce Sweptail. Around $13 million. At number 6, we leave behind the world of extreme hypercar performance and enter the world of handcrafted luxury. This is the Rolls-Royce Sweptail. If you think a Rolls-Royce is expensive, the Sweptail takes that idea to an entirely different level. Its reported price when commissioned was around $13 million, although the true value of such a unique vehicle is difficult to define. Why? Because this isn't a car you simply select from a catalog. The Sweptail was created as a bespoke project for a specific customer. Its design takes inspiration from luxury yachts, classic coach-built automobiles, and high-end grand touring machines. The result is a vehicle with an incredibly long, elegant silhouette and a sweeping rear design. Inside, the focus is on craftsmanship rather than simply adding more screens or more buttons. Wood, leather, metal, glass, and carefully finished surfaces create an atmosphere closer to a private luxury suite than a normal automobile cabin. One of the most fascinating aspects of the Sweptail is that it demonstrates how far customization can go. For most people, buying a car means choosing a model, selecting a color, adding a few options, and taking delivery. For an ultra-wealthy customer commissioning a coach-built Rolls-Royce, the process can be completely different. The customer can become part of the design journey. Materials, colors, shapes, details, and even the overall character of the vehicle can be discussed and developed. That's why these cars are so expensive. You're not simply paying for an engine and 4 wheels. You're paying for thousands of hours of design, craftsmanship, engineering, consultation, and hand finishing. The Sweptail is essentially a luxury yacht translated into automobile form. Number 5. SP Automotive Chaos. Around $14.4 million. Number 4. Pagani Zonda HP Barchetta. Around $17 million. At number 4 we have one of the most artistic hypercars ever created, the Pagani Zonda HP Barchetta. With a reported value around $17 million, the Zonda HP Barchetta demonstrates that automotive engineering can cross into the world of sculpture. Pagani is famous for treating every car almost like a piece of mechanical art, and the Zonda HP Barchetta takes that philosophy to an extreme. The name Barchetta refers to a small boat, and the design has a low, open, almost racing-inspired character. The car's proportions are unmistakable. The exposed carbon fiber, dramatic wheels, unusual windshield treatment, and sculpted bodywork make it look like nothing else on the road. And then there is the craftsmanship. Pagani vehicles are known for beautiful interior details, including exposed mechanical components, finely machined metal pieces, premium leather, and carbon fiber. The cabin doesn't simply look expensive. It looks carefully constructed by people who care about every tiny detail. The Zonda itself is already legendary among enthusiasts. So a special version with extremely limited production becomes even more desirable. Only a handful of Zonda HP Barchettas were produced, which puts them into a category where ownership becomes almost impossible for ordinary collectors. And this is where the psychology of collecting becomes important. If there were thousands of these cars available, the excitement would be different. But when only a few exist, every example becomes a piece of history. The Zonda HP Barchetta is therefore not just a hypercar. It is a collector's artifact, combining speed, craftsmanship, rarity, and the unmistakable personality of Pagani. Number 3. Bugatti La Voiture Noire. Around $18.7 million. Now we reach the top 3, and the prices become almost unbelievable. At number 3 is the Bugatti La Voiture Noire, with a reported price of approximately $18.7 million. The name translates roughly to the black car, and the design certainly lives up to it. This is a one-of-one Bugatti, created as a modern tribute to the legendary Type 57 SC Atlantic. The car's long, smooth body is covered in deep black, giving it an almost mysterious appearance. Instead of using dozens of aggressive aerodynamic elements like some modern track-focused hypercars, La Voiture Noire uses a smoother and more elegant design. But don't let that elegance fool you. Underneath the bodywork is serious Bugatti engineering. The car uses the same basic 8.0-liter quad turbocharged W16 family that helped make the Chiron famous, delivering enormous power through an advanced all-wheel drive system. But the real story here is exclusivity. There is only one. Just one. Think about that for a second. When you see a common luxury car on the road, you might see another one at the next intersection. With La Voiture Noire, there isn't another identical example waiting around the corner. The single-car production makes the vehicle a unique piece of automotive history. The design also shows how Bugatti can combine heritage with modern technology. The long body pays respect to classic Bugatti proportions, while the lighting, wheels, aerodynamics, and engineering are unmistakably modern. At nearly $19 million, it is more expensive than almost any conventional production car on Earth. And yet, for someone who wants the ultimate combination of exclusivity and Bugatti engineering, the price may be part of the attraction. Number 2. Rolls-Royce Boat Tail. Around $28 million. Number 1. Rolls-Royce La Rose Noire Drop Tail. Around $30 million. And finally, we arrive at number 1. The car sitting at the top of our 2026 list is the Rolls-Royce La Rose Noire Drop Tail, with a reported price of around $30 million. Yes, you heard that correctly. Around $30 million for one car. To put that into perspective, we're no longer talking about the price of an expensive Ferrari or Lamborghini. We're talking about a vehicle that can cost more than many private aircraft. And yet, the La Rose Noire Droptail isn't designed to compete with a traditional supercar. It belongs to an entirely different category. Rolls-Royce created the Droptail as an ultra-exclusive coach-built project, and La Rose Noire is one of only a handful of Droptail commissions. The design was reportedly inspired by the black Baccarat rose, a flower associated with deep red and black tones. That inspiration appears throughout the vehicle, particularly in the interior detailing. One of the most impressive aspects is the amount of craftsmanship involved. Instead of simply selecting existing parts, the project involves bespoke materials, custom design, and extensive hand finishing. The dashboard itself can become an artistic centerpiece, with individually placed wooden elements creating a flowing pattern. Every detail has to be positioned precisely, turning the interior into something that resembles fine furniture or a luxury watch rather than a normal car dashboard. The exterior is equally dramatic. The car has a long, elegant profile, an open-top configuration, and a removable roof that allows the owner to experience the vehicle in a completely different way. But perhaps the most fascinating thing about the La Rose Noire Droptail is that its value doesn't come from speed alone. There are many cars that are faster. There are many cars that accelerate more aggressively. There are even cars that can cost several $1,000,000 less while delivering extraordinary performance. The Droptail is expensive because it is fundamentally a personalized work of automotive art. It is designed around the customer. It is built in extremely limited numbers. And it requires an extraordinary amount of craftsmanship. A June 2026 ranking places the La Rose Noire Droptail at about $30 million and identifies only 4 Droptail commissions overall, while other 2026 sources have cited values slightly above $30 million depending on the estimate. What makes these cars so expensive? Now that we've reached the end of the countdown, let's take a step back and ask the bigger question. Why would anyone spend $30 million on a car? First, it might seem completely irrational. After all, you can buy an incredible sports car for a fraction of that price. You can buy a luxury sedan, a supercar, a house, and probably several other vehicles for the same money. But the ultra-luxury automotive market,